What's in the little bag?
You're about to find out.
Not sponsored by Lidl. No affiliation whatsoever.
Pity.
Welcome back to the Mr. Strong and Mr. Tickle podcast.
Mr. Strong.
What am I then? Am I just... I'm Mr. Mr. Sissy.
Bigger arms than Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube. My name is Mark,
Emmett.
and our guest for today, this is Davey. So in this episode, bit of a different concept today, but we all have an item in the little bag and we're going to discuss it and go over basically what we have in it. So it's kind of like sentimental or something funny, we don't know until we rip it out. So
It's like a little bit of a play of that show Room 101. Do you remember that show Room 101?
No, Davey, you're on your own.
That's me. Oh,
yeah.
Well,
on your age.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, if you've watched Room 101, you'll understand the concept.
Tell them the story of the little bag first.
So this is the story of the little bag. So when we went to a conference recently where we all got to know each other better, my girlfriend gave me a little bag full of food, like little protein oats and stuff like that, and I brought it with me. And I arrived in this really, really nice, swanky hotel with the little bag. And
We met him outside the airport with this.
Yeah, a great bag, and I brought it back home and everything. I brought back some of that. Remember that chocolate? That was unbelievable. What was that?
Which
boys had it at the event.
Yeah, what was that chocolate?
I never had any.
Tony's chocolate. I didn't have any.
I've been dieting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just no.
I've been dieting as well.
I ate all their share of the Tony's chocolate. But is this like, this is a United Kingdom chocolate, is it? Because I'm not
I
familiar
don't
with
know.
it.
Tony's, I think it's an American one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't beat the Cadbury's.
Oh yeah.
Cadbury's Fruit and Nut Bar is hands down the best.
No, not fruit enough, man.
Oh,
I like a nut. I like a bar with a nut, but not fruit.
Pause.
Too
No.
much for me.
I love it.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll get stuck in.
Who's
Let's
going
get
to the
stuck in.
first pick?
You're the guest.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
guess
do
Do
first.
the honours.
Okay. I would like to discuss Hulk Hogan.
Ah. That's gas.
Hulk.
R.I.P.
So I was an original, like I was like a Hulkamaniac as a kid. Like I loved this man. I thought he like was like God. So he was like, I don't know, did you watch professional wrestling as a
Yeah, I
child?
watched wrestling, yeah.
And I was like looking at him and I was like, wow, this guy is like amazing. I remember like he was the first person that I ever seen who had big muscles, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally a Hulkamaniac. Like, I'm not shitting with you, right? He literally had me on the side of my bed saying prayers. Remember he used to say, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
And I was eating more vegetables. My mum wouldn't let me take vitamins at that age because I was only like 6.
Vitamins are
And I'm not kidding with you. I was literally on my hands and knees like this, like going, yeah, please, Mr. Hulk Hogan, like, and like praying prayers. Oops, sorry. And like, he had such an impact on me as a child. And when I recently watched his documentary, okay, and like, look, I don't judge a man by his politics or his religion, like I don't, because he'll only end up having a row if he did that.
100%,
But it was something that he said about his movie that he did, the leg drop, okay. And I don't know if you're familiar with that move. Remember, he used to basically, he'd run out and he'd literally just drop. So I'm sure you'll edit it in. Will you edit the leg drop in, please? He'll edit the leg drop in. He'll be somewhere on the screen.
Going up, Hulk Hogan, he drops a big leg on him.
But he had so many back surgeries. He had 20 back surgeries, right? And he said in the documentary, which really stood out to me, he says like the reason he had so many back surgeries was because he kept doing the leg drop, because when he would fall, he'd fall onto his arse, and it would obviously the impact on the spine. And doing that over so many many years, hundreds of matches, like, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, dude! Like after back surgery number 10, should you not have been like, hey, maybe I should stop doing this move, maybe I should try something that's not going to like put so much impact on my spine. And I just was like, it was such a like, don't meet your heroes. Like I wasn't a big fan of him anyway after like some of the stuff he was doing anyway, but I found that as I became an adult, and then it made me think then going into like who we look at as our sort of, our idols, the people that we look up to in this world as children and as we become adults, and then as we come back into our career, what we do as coaches, and we have to obviously set an impression for people. And I think that the internet's become so vast now and wide that there's so many people influencing others, and I suppose this was just like an influencer of mine who did something really fucking stupid, which was like jump on his back for like 30, 40 plus years, and then it got me thinking again. And like one of my other idols is like Ronnie Coleman, and poor old Ronnie, he can't walk anymore. And I don't know, I just think that we need to be very careful about who our cultural icons are and how much we put into them, because, you know, sometimes it can be, you know,
As you said, don't meet your heroes. Yeah.
Exactly, don't meet your heroes. So that's why I'm bringing Hulk Hogan to the table. Discuss.
Interesting.
What do you think of him?
Honestly, don't know too much about him. I remember watching him as a kid as well, but I never watched the documentary. Don't know much about him.
I haven't watched the documentary, but that whole, what was it, the era of the 90s in the WWE? Is it the Bad Boy era? Is that
I remember all the wrestlers back then. Like
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Triple H.
Like Brock Lesnar. And then when he transitioned to the UFC, The Rock. So cool. Like.
Just when Stone Cold, the glass would break and the Steve Wise is at the end and all, do you know he said he used to get drunk on them? He used to, like, because he'd drink like so many of those beers after a match, he'd take like 5 or 6 at once, and he said, get a little bit of a buzz going.
I remember watching the wrestling in my grandmother's house, like donkey's years ago, I used to love it.
Yeah, it just brings me back to my childhood, going over to my aunt's house, Ross Gray, and I'd be just playing with the figurines, watching on the telly.
Of course.
So cool. But yeah, just seeing like the physiques that they had back then, the muscles, the size of them, so cool. But you don't see that as much nowadays because like the whole health and fitness, like you said, 20s back surgeries, none of them are getting 20 surgeries now.
No, they're looking after themselves. There's more. I'd imagine there's some form more of a wellness policy, and they've taken. There's someone who's still taking steroids. Like he was openly admitting he was still taking steroids even in the documentary at like a very old age. So he was still doing it. But like it doesn't seem to be as in with wrestling. I don't watch wrestling these days anyway. I wouldn't have a foggy what he was in there now. But it just seemed back in those days like you know Arnie, Sylvester Stallone, like you know. What was your man, Jean-Claude Van Damme? Everyone was just ripped and juiced. Like no wonder I became a bodybuilder.
Rock as well.
Absolutely. Right, well let's.
Who's next?
I'll go in. I'll dig deep. What am I looking at here now? What's in the bag? There's a protein bar wrapper here somewhere.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's from.
What's this? Oh Jesus, bro.
That's my one. Yeah, that you didn't break that, Mark.
Oh, jeez. I broke the glass.
This recently fell off my table in the office, but this is the baby scan of my firstborn child, who is Maya. And Maya is currently 3.5 years old, and I suppose this just signifies, like, obviously becoming a father and how that changed me and impacted me as a person, and I suppose the path I took with my career as well, you know, and we've spoke about that on a previous episode of how I decided to close my gym, basically. And, you know, family is a massive thing to me, and I decided when I was becoming a father that I didn't want to be living the life that I was living at that time. So things changed as a result of that, and I suppose one of the main reasons was I wanted to be more present and I wanted to be around for my kids, and, you know, I kind of set my life up so that I can do that, you know, and our job is nice and flexible. So with being online, like I can do simple things like bring them to creche or collect them from creche, or just be here, like in the morning times, get their breakfast with them, be here in the evening times, get their dinner with them, simple stuff like that I wouldn't have been able to do if I had instead doing what I was doing.
Simple but important.
Yeah, very important. And I suppose it's a long time ago now, really, when I look at this. I suppose she was born in January 2023, so this scan would probably be from like early 2022. So it's about 4 years ago now, and it only feels like yesterday that I got the news we were going to have a baby, like, and it's the best news I ever got.
Was it scary becoming a parent?
Definitely. Like I remember the first thing I thought was I'm still a fucking kid myself, you know, and I can still feel like that sometimes. And it's funny, I actually had this conversation with another parent recently, just saying, like, I have 2 kids, obviously, you know, I have my little boy as well, Joshua, and I'm like, I have these little 2 humans to look after and to be responsible for, and sometimes I'm like, I still feel like a kid myself. But yeah, it definitely changed me big time. Like, and I suppose I was chatting to Dalal about this morning, like, becoming a parent, you're no longer the most important person in your life. Your kids are just everything. Well, to me, they're everything anyway. So this is beside my computer in my office, and I suppose it just reminds me to work hard, and it reminds me why I'm working hard.
Very good.
It's fascinating. Like I'm not a parent myself, so I can't speak from experience, but I work with a lot of parents, and you know it's one of those things with kids, like it just pulls your attention, like that's your main focus.
100%.
And I remember a client of mine said to me once, he was talking about, I think it's in his children sport, and I was like, oh, like, you know, is that big once a year? And he goes, he remember he said to me, he goes, I do anything for my children. And I remember how much passion he said it with. And I remember going, oh yeah, like, and it's just something I can't relate to it because I don't understand. But like, it's an amazing thing to obviously to work towards. And
I remember like that straight away when I heard the news, like I'm going to be a father. It just like lit a fire in me. I was like, I've got to provide for this kid now, like, you know. And we were building a house at the time as well, and I was like, right, I need to get this house built, and it needs to be ready for when my child comes, and I'm going to give him the best home possible and give him the best life possible. And again, you know, it's always a driving factor for me, kids. And I can get into my own head about it too, like, and I'm thinking too far ahead. I'm thinking getting them through college and all this stuff, and sometimes like that you have to just pull it back to the present. Exactly, and be present. And that's, you know, that's the other side of it, is being able to be present with them. And, you know, I'm blessed that I have an occupation that I can be, and I work from home, and that's.
Yeah, isn't it great? Like, all three of us have the opportunity to help others in that position as well.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge inspiration for a lot of clients that come to me, like new parents or parents with young kids and that, and they do notice themselves not being in that current position where they go out play with their kids for 5-10 minutes and they're out of breath.
Yeah.
Or
it's that one you see, like you just said, I do anything for my kids. It's like you'd often see it on Instagram, that quote, it's like, I die for my kids, but would you live for them? Would you be healthy for them?
Yeah.
And you know, that's something we help our clients do. You know, I coach loads of parents, and I suppose that's another thing with the photo shoot, and it's a reason I'm doing it now. One of the reasons I'm doing it now is as a parent. I've done 4 before, but never as a parent. I've never had kids, I've never had a wife, a home to run, all that crack while doing a shoot. So it just brings another element of relatability to it, I suppose.
Yeah, one thing I always say to the parents that I work with is that to be the example in your home.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not one like I know myself from you know, eating well and eating healthy and trying to look after my health. That there's been times in my life when I've got judgment from others, people looking down at me and you know, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? And look, that's just normal. People will always judge what they don't understand.
100%.
But I find that with parents as well, like if you were the parent in your home who begins to eat healthy and starts looking after yourself, that trickles down. There's just so many couples I work with. I'll work with one person, and then all of a sudden I'm working with a partner, and then you know you're almost training a family then at that point. You know what I mean? In some ways, and but like those things that you're doing now for your photo shoot and eating healthy and your structure and your discipline, that all trickles down to the children. They're seeing
it. They're like sponges.
Oh, totally. They're seeing it all. You know what I mean? And
exactly as you said there, it becomes a family thing. Like as soon as somebody signs up who has a family, it becomes a family thing. Like they're all cooking healthy meals together and eating their meals together. And like I had one client, I was literally chatting to her the other day. Her and her son go to the gym together now on a Saturday.
Isn't that cool?
And he absolutely loves going to the gym. And I've loads of other parents who'll be saying to me, oh, Mammy has big muscles and Mammy goes to the gym, and you know, it's class.
Yeah, that's how I got into the gym. My
my father, we've said this.
No way.
Yeah, my man, she loves the gym. And I wrote an email about it a while back, but we were on holidays in Turkey, and she was going to the gym one morning in the hotel, and I just tagged along. And I'll never forget, I was on the lat pull down, and I messed around with it. I was like, "Jeez, this is class." Took it to AMRAP, and then at the bottom I go, boop. And the handle go flying. Do you know the like square tiles in the ceiling? Yeah, it went flying off, and I just tip over to the treadmill. But yeah, that was like one of my first experiences in the gym, and because of the mother.
And my father's qualified PT, so my father got me into it.
No way.
Yeah. So that just proves the point, I suppose.
And that kind of ties into what I have in
the
little
bag. What's in the bag now?
This is a little bit different, but it ties into that slightly. This is a hurler's prayer. Read and weep.
And that's why I'm wearing the Leafs jersey, really.
Yeah, and that's from a lad from the Féile in 2008 from the team Slough Neil up in the north. So we were hosting them. We were the host at the time. But the main reason why I wanted to bring it was like that, as you said, that influence of even like, I was absolutely blessed that I come from an active background. When I was growing up, I was introduced to it at an early age, whereas a lot of people aren't. But you just, not only just because you feel a little bit healthier or you take it for granted when you're young growing up, but the actual values that you learn from sport. Like hurling, for example, learning to show up on time, be punctual, a bit of discipline. So I also was involved with Taekwondo at a young age, and big part of that was discipline. Like wherever you stand in the room is based off your belt. So if someone's of a higher rank than you, their priority in front, they stand in front. Little things like that that you just take for granted growing up. But the older you get, the more you see people that probably didn't have that luxury growing up and don't learn those skills, or even learning how to lose, because that's the reason why I brought this, because they were absolutely unbelievable. They bet the shy out of us.
They won it, did they?
They did,
Yeah.
and fast forward to now, they're one of the most successful teams in the north. I think Ulster champions for 5 consecutive seasons in a row in the senior. They're one of the most successful camogie teams in the country. They've won, I think, 3 All-Irelands. They're dual team as well, so they play Gaelic football, and they're absolutely unbelievable
at that as well.
Sure. And they're a village the size of Earl, I think. Like a tiny little village. But it always kind of stuck with me, like the traits that I learned from sport and have been able to bring them into adulthood. I suppose I'm a little bit of an adult now that I've reached 30. But it was just one of the main things, as you said, trying to be that influence for your kids and whatever. They're just literally watching what you're doing, watching you go to the gym. Same for myself, as I said.
Your parents got you into sport.
And I think that
monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do. And I just think like everybody should, at some stage, should be involved in a sport or
exposed to some sport
as young as possible.
Definitely,
And I wouldn't be in this position now had I not grown up playing hurling, playing golf, playing soccer,
and that's definitely something I'll be encouraging my kids to do is play some form of sport, and it's something I'll never force them to do. If they try a sport and they don't like it, and this is something me and Dalal have spoke about as well, like, if they try a sport and they don't like it, we're not going to force them to do it, because that just turns you off sports in general. So we'll bring them to something else, and let them find something they do like.
So you're not going to put on Ronnie squatting how many solid ass pounds in the telly for them?
Project and back.
It's lead by example. If they want, when they're older, if they want to train in the gym, brilliant. If they don't, I'll leave them to their own devices. Whatever they enjoy.
That's it.
Remember Tiger Woods' dad used to do that. He used to hit it in the garage, and he'd sit him on the high chair.
Right.
I remember that from the.
I read his book as well, and like the reason why he became so successful was just he was basically abused into doing the sport.
Yeah, it was really unhealthy.
Camera dying, Mark.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right.
We'll continue on with the other one, but look, like that. Yeah, he was literally just forced into that. He he had no other choice but to become the best at that. But now we see him now, and
exactly.
Unfortunately,
it swings and roundabouts, doesn't it?
Well, that trauma has to come out somewhere.
Exactly.
At some point, and it's,
exactly.
He's obviously displayed it, and some of his alcohol and adultery and all that crack, and
getting up to all them sort of antics. But that was the main reason why I wanted to bring a hurler's prayer. Just I'll never forget the absolute slating they gave us.
Fumbling you.
Absolutely. Yeah. But now,
a good kicking is good for you. I think it teaches you character.
And that's another trait, learning to lose, as I said, growing up, because a lot of people get to adulthood and have never experienced that, and then the likes of participation medals just because you took part. I think that's a lot of horseshit. So to be honest, if I want to give my proper opinion, like you should, if you put in the work, because I don't know, maybe there's a life lesson in that. Just because you put in the work doesn't mean you're guaranteed success either.
No,
like there could be like that. They're maybe a little bit stronger, maybe a bit more skilled than you. They're going to beat you every single time, and you need to learn to improve. Or else.
Win or learn and all that jazz.
Win or learn, as they say. Many I learned taken in my 30 years. Many more to come. But that's pretty much everything.
This was interesting because we obviously didn't know what we were going to bring today, but we all brought like sort of an influence in terms of our lives, which was cool.
I didn't know what you were going to bring, to be honest.
And I was actually going to bring something else, and then I was working this morning early and I spotted this, and I was like, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So we might do another episode of it, and
bring something else.
Oh yeah, I've lots of weird shit. I just wanted to test the waters with Hulk Hogan first.
Maybe the sock that you use to cover your Mickey when you.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit crusty at this stage.
Up on the mantelpiece.
That's a good point. And on that bombshell.
That's it.
Absolutely. Well, if you enjoyed that episode, make sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have any other insights. And finally, with the launch of our EM8 Group Coaching in September 7th is the start date for that. So we're definitely going to be pushing a lot more informational content between now and then for that. So if you do have any interest, make sure to click the link below in the description and it'll show you more information from there.
Yep.
But we shall love you and leave you.
And thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yep.
Leave you with that one. Peace.
Peace and love.